Namaste, Swagatam, Vanakkam, Vandanam. Welcoming all of you to this evening's prayer, a prayer for our beloved Ammaji. And this evening, we are going to be invoking Lord Maha Ganesha, the remover of all obstacles. And Divya will be presenting Sri Bhagavatpada Adi Shankara's Maha Ganesha Pancharatnam, and also telling you some nice tales of Lord Ganesha, one of our favorite deities in India. Let us start by invoking the Guru Parampara. Om Tad Paramparaye Vidmahe Jnanalingeshwaraya Dhimahi Tanno Guru Prachodayate Om Yoga Maharshi Dr. Swami Geetananda Giri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. I'll be giving over to Divya in a few moments, and Ammaji is also watching this live, so she is doing very well, lot of improvements. So all the prayers are definitely helping her, and we have deep gratitude for each and every one of you for putting your heart, your mind, and your Atma into these prayers. So we will start now with Dhivya Priya.
Namaste, Vanakkam, Swagatam, and welcoming all of you to yet another synchronized global prayer where we all are coming together. Even though we are in different places, it's really nice to feel connected during this auspicious time and to invoke the best ever energy. And before I start, I want to express forgiveness for Lord Ganesha from him because we haven't invoked him first. In our synchronized global prayer, we started with the Hanuman Chalisa, but I'm sure that he will forgive us and he will give us all the blessings and everything that we need. So welcoming you all, and I'll be starting. We'll be doing the Maha Ganesha Pancharatnam, which many of you know. So I've selected this stotram today as it's Monday. But I'm also going to give you some stories about Lord Ganesha, which we may know and which we may not know. So hope this will be fruitful for all of you. So I hope you all can see a screen in front of you. Yes. So today we have the Maha Ganesha Pancharatnam, the prayer for Ammaji, and we are going to start. So welcoming you all. So before we start our prayer and the stories, we'll be invoking Lord Ganesha through the Ganesha Gayatri, which we chant in the starting as Lord Ganesha is invoked first before all the deities and all the goddesses and gods. Om Tad Ganeshaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dantihi Prachodayate Om. So initially we are going to see what is the Ganesha Pancharatnam. So Sri Maha Ganesha Pancharatnam, as it is termed as, being an extremely powerful and at the same time melodious devotional hymn composed by Sri Adi Shankara in the 8th century. It addresses Lord Ganesha or Lord Ganapati. Lord Ganesha is one of the 5 gods worshipped and popularized by Adi Shankara, who wrote this Maha Ganesha Pancharatnam. The other 5 include Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Goddess Shakti, and Surya. The outcomes of the Ganesha Pancharatnam: by singing it with devotion, the worshipper will be blessed with a good life, as explained in the last paragraph of the prayer that we'll be chanting. This stotra is considered magical and highly potent in granting the wish of the devotee. So, to see some tales of Lord Ganesha and to make this prayer today more interesting, the first story is how Ganesha was born and how he was formed and how he came into this world, this universe. Once goddess Parvati went for a bath. As she didn't want to be disturbed during her bath, she took the turmeric paste for bathing from her body and made a form of a boy and breathed life into him. This boy was instructed by goddess Parvati to guard the door and not to let anyone in until she finished her bath. That is, until she gives her command that she's done. After some time, Lord Shiva had come out of his meditation. He wanted to go and see goddess Parvati, but found himself being stopped by the strange boy who he has never seen and who he doesn't know. Lord Shiva tried to reason with the boy, saying that he was goddess Parvati's husband, but the boy did not listen and was determined to not let Lord Shiva enter. Shiva decided he would have to fight the boy and cut the boy's head with his trishul, thereby killing him instantly. When goddess Parvati finished her bath and hence learned of this, she threatened to destroy the entire creation. Lord Brahma, being the creator, pleaded with her. She said she would, but only if two conditions were met, and only if the two conditions were given to her. One, that the boy be brought back to life, and two, that he would be worshipped before all the other gods. Lord Shiva, after some time, agreed to goddess Parvati's conditions, and hence everyone agreed. He sent his Ganas out with the orders to bring back the head of the first creature that is lying with its head facing the north. They returned with the head of a strong and powerful elephant, Gajasura, which Lord Brahma placed onto the boy's body, and hence life was brought into him. He was declared as Gajanana, as we invoke in many of our bhajans and songs, Gajanana, and gave him the status of being foremost among the gods. And that's the reason why we invoke him first before we invoke any other god. And if we are going to start something new, we invoke him usually. So the other story that's quite important is once there was complete competition. So we all know this story from I had explained during the previous chants that Lord Ganesha and Lord Muruga had a competition between themselves to see who could circle the world thrice, 3 times faster and win the fruit of the knowledge, which was given by Narada to Lord Shiva and Parvati. Skanda, or Lord Muruga, went off on his peacock to cover the world thrice, while Lord Ganesha simply went around his parents on Mushika Vahana, as we all know, the mouse. When asked why he did so, he answered that his parents, Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati, was his world and was thus given the fruit of knowledge, which irritated Lord Muruga, that's Skanda, to the utmost. And there's another story also, multiple stories of why and how Lord Ganesha has only one tusk. So we say Ekavati. Sage Vyasa, who wrote the Mahabharata, asked Ganesha to transcribe the epic as he dictated it to him, because Mahabharata is a lengthy text and it's hard for him to write it and think of it at the same time. Lord Ganesha agreed, but only on the condition that Vyasa recites the poem continuously without pausing, which is quite hard. So Vyasa in turn took his turn and posed the condition that Lord Ganesha would not only have to write the Mahabharata as he recited, but would have to understand everything that he heard before writing it down, which is equally tough. So both of them had their conditions stand there and they had to face the conditions and write this epic, which is known to all of us till date now. In this way, Sage Vyasa could get some rest from his continuous talking by simply reciting a difficult verse which Lord Ganesha could not understand. So it took time for Lord Ganesha, and hence Vyasa had time to catch on his breath. The dictation began, but in the rush of writing, Lord Ganesha's feather pen broke. So he had to maintain the speed as Vyasa would not repeat what he has already said. So he broke off a tusk and used it as a pen so that the transcription could proceed without interruption, permitting him to keep his word. So that's the third story, and quite an important one. Finally, I thought that this story is a must that we all should know about the moon, and it was quite interesting. So many of you might know it or you might not know it. After coming back from the feast at Kubera's palace, Kubera was the god of wealth. He had all this wealth and he had like everything. So Ganapati was riding on his mouse because Kubera must have given him a lot of food and comfort and everything. So Ganesha, he's quite fat and big. So he must have had quite a feast. When he was coming back, that's on the way going to his home, his Vahana is Mushika. It was a full moon that night. As he was riding, his Vahana Mushika, which is the mouse, saw a snake and ran behind a bush. Ganapati hence fell to the ground and his stomach broke open. Ganapati started to put the food back into his stomach before anyone saw. But bad luck. The moon god saw him and started laughing loudly. Angered by this, Lord Ganapati pronounced a curse on the moon god. You shall be always black and never be seen by anyone. And this stunned the moon god. And frightened by the moon god started pleading for mercy. Lord Ganapati said, okay, but you shall be changing from new moon that we see no moon to full moon where we see the actual full moon. Also, if anyone sees the moon on Lord Ganapati's birthday, that is Chaturthi, after the new moon, which is called Amavasa here, he or she shall not attain moksha, liberation. So this is a belief which is believed by many people. The moon god kept quiet and he had to agree. After Ganapati had finished putting the food in his stomach, he took the snake that had frightened his Vahana Mushika and tied it around his belly, as you will see in the photo or the picture that depicts him, and in his statues that there is a snake around his tummy which is holding that food. Then he continued going back home where Lord Shiva and Parvati and his family members were. So I hope that these four stories kind of gave us a stability before we started the Maha Ganesha Pancharatnam. So this part was very important as many of us might not know, as we see the depiction of Lord Ganesha, and each part has its own significance and why he has it in such a way. So the symbolism of Lord Ganesha. First of all, he has a big head, that is, think big, large ears to listen more, small eyes to concentrate, axe to cut off all bonds of attachment, rope to pull you nearer to the highest goal, small mouth to talk less, one tusk, retain good, throw away bad. And then he has a trunk, high efficiency and adaptability. And finally, from his hands, which we all know from yoga, from Dr. Sir, this mudra where we give the blessings which is blesses and protects on spiritual path to supreme. And he has the large stomach, which is peacefully digest all good and bad in life. And then he has a modaka in his hand, which is rewards of sadhana. And then he has the mouse, which is the Mushika Vahana, that's desire. Unless under control can cause havoc, you ride the desire and keep it under control and do not allow it to take you for a ride. So keep all your desires under your feet and under control and at a limit. And then finally, we all know when we are doing pratana or puja, we keep the prasadam. So the prasada, which is in front of Lord Ganesha, the whole world is at your feet and for your asking. So this was just a symbolism, and maybe Dr. Sir will share it to you in some session that will be meaningful to add in. So now we will be starting the Maha Ganesha Pancharatnam, which is well known to all of you. And I'm going to do a simpler tune so that you all can join in. If you don't know the words, you can follow it. I have it on the screen. At least the Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Pahimam and Rakshamam, we'll be singing in between each of the stanzas. So you can join in for the Jai Ganesh at least. Madhyama. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Pahi Mam. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Raksha Mam. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Pahi Mam. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Raksha Mam. Mudakarata Modakam Sada Vimukti Sadakam Kaladaravatam Sakam Vilasi Loka Rakshakam Anayakaikanayakam विनाशिते बदैत्यकं नताशुपाशुनाशकं नमामि तं विनायकं जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां न तेतरातिभीकरं न बोधिताकमाश्वरं न मत्सुरारिनिर्जरं न तादिकापदुद्धरं सुरेश्वरं निधीश्वरं गजेश्वरं गणेश्वरं महेश्वरं तमाश्रये परात्परं निरन्तरं जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां समस्तलोकशङ्करं निरस्तदैत्यकुञ्जरं दरेदरोदरं वरं वरे भगत्रमक्षरं कृपाकरं क्षमाकरं मुदाकरं यशस्करं मनस्करं नमस्तुभ्यां नमस्करोमि भास्वरं जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां अकिञ्चनार्दिमार्जनं चिरन्तनोक्तिभाजनं पुरारि पूर्वनन्दनं सुरारि गर्भचर्वणं प्रपञ्चनासभीषणं धनञ्जयादिभूषणं कपोलदानवारणं भजे पुराणवारणं जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां नितान्तकान्तदन्तकान्तमन्तकान्तकात्मजम् अचिन्त्यरूपमन्तहीनमन्तराय कीर्तनं कृदन्तरे निरन्तरं वसन्तमेव योगिनं तमेव तं विचिन्तयामि सन्ततं जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां Maha Ganesha Pancharatnam योन्महं प्रजल्पति प्रभादके हृदि स्मरन् गणेशरम् अरोगतामदोषतां सुसाहितिं सुपुत्रतां समाहितायुरष्टबुद्धिमभ्युपैति शोचिरात् जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश पाहि मां जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश रक्ष मां Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, pahi mam. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, raksha mam. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, raksha mam. Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, Jaya Ganesha, raksha mam. Jaya Ganesha, raksha mam. Shri Ganesha, raksha mam. Jaya Ganesha, raksha mam. Shri Ganesha, raksha mam. Iti Maha Ganesha Pancharatnam. So after finishing this Maha Ganesha Pancharatnam, we pray to Lord Ganesha to bestow good health and long life on our dear beloved Ammaji, and may everyone have joy, prosperity and wellness manifest in their lives. So just a few links that I wanted to express to all of you, which you might have missed. The way to invoke through different forms. We have been doing the Tell Me Appa and we have completed 27 episodes. So in season 2, we have been having separate episodes for different gods. So you might have missed a few of them. So we have tales on Lord Ganesha, which I had mentioned, and even more because we have done a whole episode. So there are many stories and many important things and aspects of each of the gods and goddesses. So we have Lord Ganesha, Lord Kartikeya, Lord Hanuman, the three Shaktis, Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, and many so on. And then we have the Twinkling Thursdays, where we have devotional songs, chants, and bhajans that are devoted to the different gods and written by great poets and artists. And we had the Navaratri Kala Yajna recently, where we had audio-visual broadcasts, stories, vocal concerts, and dance performances. And today you all must have seen that Dr. Sir has announced that he is going to have a 21-day intensive training in the Rishi Culture Ashtanga Geetananda Yoga at ICYR. And he's looking out for it because we are in dangerous times and in hard times. But keep your mind out to it, and you'll be knowing about it. And now it's announced to be from 1st of February to 22nd of February 2021. And it's for 3 weeks and made shorter because shorter is usually better for many people nowadays. And for registration, you can contact him through the email, and you can ask many of the people who have gone through the 6 months and different times who have come for the yantra and everything. So thank you everyone for supporting me and making this possible, as alone it's quite hard, and when you all are there, I'm sure that I have enough love and support to make things keep on going.
So just wanted to say namaste and thank you to all of you for being part of this. Divya is making sure that we keep our mind focused on Ammaji and bring all the energies of all the divinities to bless her. And so it means a lot to have all of you with us. And let us conclude with the Loka Samasta at this time. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu Om Shantihi 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 Om. Once again, thank you so much for being you and enabling the wonderful energies to come together for the sake of Ammaji. May everybody be healed. May everybody be happy. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya, as it says. Let everybody be happy, healthy, and wise in these difficult times. Thank you so much. Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you. See you soon.